Welcome to Highlighting the Journey, where we dive deep into the stories that shape us. From real estate moguls to innovators, entrepreneurs, from life-changing pivots through breakthrough moments, we're here to uncover the paths that lead to success and the obstacles that build character and the insights that inspire action. And I'm your host, Dan the Podcast Man. Today, we're highlighting another incredible journey. I felt like this podcast, since I got one of my dear friends on here, I think it needs to be extended. We're going to do another extra hour with this podcast because, come on, why not? Because there's a whole other story. I wanted to give you the backstory about me and Tom. And now, what I think is important, that me and Tom here now, we dive into real estate. And I think this is the perfect opportunity. Yes, my name is Dan Giambrone. Originally started as Navi Real Estate Investors. I am a co-owner. And here's my other co-owner, Tom
McDermott.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's get going. All right. So let's talk about real estate now. Let's talk and see where we are with everything. Clearly, product placement. All right. This is our logo. Me and Tom found this company. Now, let's talk a little bit about the origin story. How did we figure out this name, dude?
What year did we officially start it?
We started, I know the actual date, September 14th, 2021. Official start.
Yeah.
Official start. We started in that same year in May.
That's right, yeah.
So like during COVID, we were formulating the plan to start real estate.
That's right, yeah.
And then we finally went to the diner and said, "You ready to do real estate? You ready to do real estate?"
Yeah. Yeah. So I remember being in my den. We had like the legal pads out. We were talking real estate. Like, what do we do? Like, how do we educate ourselves? We're talking a lot about Bigger Pockets because Bigger Pockets was kind of like, I'd say it's like the most mainstream real estate investing company or brand, that most people talk about. Like for me, David Green, he was a cop. I think he was a cop in like Seattle or somewhere in Washington or something like that. And so I was like, oh, it's cool. And then obviously, Brandon Turner. They were like the two biggest on the show then. You got his book?
Yeah, I got one.
Which one?
This one is Managing Properties. Yeah. And Bigger Pockets is so great because it's good. It's very good to get started.
Absolutely, yeah.
But then you got to realize that, we realized that their stuff is good, but doesn't pertain to Long Island market.
Yeah, so I think that's the biggest thing about any type of real estate education is that, yes, it works. Whatever Bigger Pocket says, it works. Whatever maybe some guy in Cincinnati is telling you about, it works. But it works there. For them, it works West Coast, specifically like Washington area. But Long Island, it's one of the most competitive markets in the country. So great for foundational education and knowledge. And then, we needed to move on. So I remember, we were educating ourselves. We were talking, oh, let's do this, let's do that. Oh, this is what we should be looking for.
Yep.
And then we said, okay, well, we need some sort of business. Like, we need to make this official. We were talking about names.
Yeah, our first original name, which was, I loved it so much, and I wish we got it. I still did wish we got it, because you and me like clean names.
Yeah.
We like clean, like simple, short, and but this one was really good because I was really trying to think of a name for the both of us and what would it be. And I thought the greatest idea would be Exit 29 Group.
Yeah.
Because on the Southern State Parkway, if you got off at Exit 29,
that's our exit. Yeah.
That's our exit. So I thought that was it. And then some guy freaking upstate has it.
It was upstate.
He has not been using it. Like, I figured it all out. Like, this guy's just sitting on it. It's like one of those poor musicians that make a name and then like 3 years later, they like the guy in Sweden that owns the name and now they're suing them because
they got big.
They got big. Yeah. And it's like, but
I don't want this guy suing us when we got big, you know? So,
Yeah, like the origin story of the name. So yeah, we were really trying to figure out that nice, clean
and it was so funny because we thought that was like the biggest problem.
Yeah, it's
Remember
not.
that?
Yeah,
It's not.
it's not. The name is not.
We could have named it Tabletop. Like, it doesn't matter.
You know, the for the company name, yes, but also we had to build branding.
Right.
And I think one of the other things too with branding, and that's why I came to you like last year before I really started diving into Dan the home buyer man. I'm like, you and me need to not get rid of Navi. Navi's always going to be us.
Yeah.
But we had to make our own names, and I think that was very important.
Yeah, it really was, because if you hear you hear Google, Yahoo, like everybody knows them because of their reputation.
Yeah.
But if you're just hearing some startup company and Navi what? Like
Navi what?
What does Navi mean?
Navigation.
I mean, yeah, navigation. I mean, like we were like, oh, Navi, like the thing that flew around in Zelda Ocarina of Time. Like that's Navi, and like
This is Breath of the Wild, by the way.
yeah, like we just made it that, and then we realized a true brand pretty much tells the audience or the potential customer exactly what they do.
The other thing now what I've noticed is people do not care about company brand names. Like they do and they don't. I want to say it better this way. What I have noticed now, you talk about Apple, people really don't go Apple. They go Tim Cook. They talk Steve Jobs.
True. The innovators of it.
Who is running Nike? People want to know who is the person behind the company.
Yeah.
That's where I've been seeing where people, because there's an actual person. Who is the person that's actually making these things?
Yeah. It's the face to the brand.
Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk. You hear these names. These are the people behind it. Yeah, we talk about Tesla, but you're like, who's running Tesla? And everybody's like diving in. Elon Musk. Jeff Bezos, okay? And then you look at Jeff Bezos, at first, it was all Amazon. All you knew about Amazon. And then people were like, oh, it's Jeff Bezos. Who the hell is Jeff Bezos? And then all of a sudden, it's like Jeff Bezos, like that. He's the brand.
Yeah.
That's the name. That's who did this. It's like that's what's so cool about like where things have started to shift. Where I've definitely seen who's running the company.
Yeah.
Who is running the company?
Who is it?
Yeah. Who is it?
So
yeah, the origin story, Zelda. It was Zelda 64.
Yeah. Ocarina of Time. Yeah.
Ocarina of Time. That was like the game changer in video games.
And what's funny too is that game, I was only like, I never had an N64, but at my mother's real estate agency, she worked for Century 21, Whitney Estates at the time. And they put in a kids room for all the agents that have kids that couldn't afford or didn't have babysitters. And they put in an N64 there, and the only game they bought was Zelda.
What a weird game to buy. I mean, that's a solo. That is a,
I don't know, but I'm glad they did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that way I got the chance of playing it.
Did you ever beat it?
No, I never did.
I couldn't see you doing it, beating it, because that's you got to be tucked away at home for that one.
Yeah. I haven't played through it in years, so I can't even tell you how far I got. But I've played Zelda games growing up, so obviously.
Yeah. Seaside Heights, you had the NES, you had Zelda Link to the Past. Oh my god.
Favorite.
Oh my god.
That's the best.
So funny. Video games now, I'm just like, my life is so busy. I don't even watch TV anymore. And people are like, have you watched this? I'm like, no. Actually, when I put my kids down, I'm like, it comes 9 o'clock, TV's off.
Yeah.
I just sit in quiet. Maybe I'll watch a little TikTok, and that's like really like that's it.
Yeah.
And like the only 2 video games that I would ever play again, like will come out, is always Zelda. I'll play every single Zelda, and then ultimately, I don't know how much I'm gonna get beat up for this one. Final Fantasy. And it's just like
what's wrong with that?
I don't know. It's just I just like that. But anyway, let's get back on the real estate stuff, because I think we have some great stuff to uncover, and really good informational stuff that we can provide on both our sides.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shortly after we established our business, we we pretty much started looking at houses.
Yeah, we found. Remember the house? So we started looking at houses.
Oh, was the house on Commack Road?
That's the one.
Oh man,
Yeah, that's the
still
one.
have dreams about that.
Well, we were like, so to give a backstory to the audience. So there was this house in Mastic. It was on Commack
Road, yeah.
Commack Road. It originally was a commercial house, real estate, and it had 2 sections. And then they said, "Oh, it's a residential home." And we looked at it. We're like, "Oh my God, a multifamily in Mastic?
Yeah.
How much?" And I think it was like $400,000 they wanted, which is crazy. Like I would jump on that in a second.
Yeah.
I would jump on
Yeah,
that.
I think
in
it
a
was
second.
like in the low 4s.
Yeah, because even back then, believe it or not, when we were looking in 2021, houses were still at like 220.
Yeah, they were low. We saw a couple houses that were like 180, 190.
Yeah, I think I bought the last house at 280.
Yeah.
That was like my first deal with in
Yeah, I
Mass.
haven't seen anything.
You don't see anything below that. I just got comped for my new house, ARV, 565.
That's
565.
that's insane.
Like not to discredit Mastic, it's
No, but the property values are
that's
generally
that's what the property values are over there. But yes, the house in Commack,
that's wild.
we saw it, and you and me were like, "Oh my God, this is it! This is it! We're going to be millionaires."
Well, also it's everything that like we were reading about.
Yes.
With like multifamily and house hacking and this
Cash
and that.
flow, yeah.
Cash flow, blah blah blah.
We were so focused. The other thing too, we were so focused on cash flow, which also was really not the greatest thing. Also,
Right. Yeah. And that again, it just took a little experience to realize, like, you shouldn't be and again, everyone's got their own different investment
100%.
strategy. But like for us, it's like you shouldn't be focused on cash flow in the beginning. You should be focused on the equity, because that cash flow will increase over time as you pay off the loan.
But not even just that. For us, we are in our 30s. Equity should be everything we should be looking at.
We both had jobs.
We both have jobs.
That's why.
We don't need the cash flow.
Yeah.
Like our current rental property, we don't care about the cash flow. We never did.
As long as it's above water.
It's above water, yeah. Because ultimately, we know in the long term, in 5-10 years, that house is going to be worth X amount of money.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to pull money out of it, and then we're going to buy that next house.
Yeah.
But going back to Commack, that house, we were just like, oh man. We're like, this is it. And we were like, every night, like, I hope we get the house. I hope I get the house. And then, we put the offer in, and we were so dumb.
Yeah.
We were so
looking
dumb.
back, even something that's so simple. I think they said it was a side-by-side duplex, 4-1 by 4-1. I think that's what it was. But remember, one of the units, the bedroom, didn't have a window.
It was
like in like the center of that. It was like,
yep, it was in the center of the house. It was such a it was a commercial property.
Yeah.
It's a commercial property. And we're thinking that, this is gonna be a residential home.
Yeah. But it had like an asphalt driveway, and the rear yard was all asphalt, and it had like separate dry wells for drainage. Like,
it's a commercial.
Yeah, everything was there for commercial. And we were like, oh, this is the best.
This is it.
I remember that. I wonder what happened to that.
I'm so curious.
We should look up later.
Yeah, I don't know if it ever sold. Because I think ultimately what they were trying to do was make it a residential home. I don't think that happened.
I don't even know if it was coded for that.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, like we didn't even know what that meant.
Yeah, we didn't know anything about coding.
Yeah.
We didn't know, we were just so with the seller. We were like, the down payment was like, we were doing absurd things with the down payment. We were like, because we wanted the deal so bad. We were making the deal.
Yeah, we were trying to make the deal work by just plugging in our own numbers.
Yep.
And then it didn't work. It was a bad deal.
It was a terrible deal. And everybody was steering us away from it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. Our lawyer's like, you shouldn't be putting this amount down.
And I was like, who's this guy to tell me? He's an attorney.
He's an
not
attorney.
an
He doesn't know anything. What the hell is he know?
I'm an investor.
I'm an investor. I did this for 4 months. This is the house.
Yeah, that's literally what we were like thinking.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was crazy until I show it to Mike Plachter. That flipping home accountant. He actually saw the house too, and he actually put a bid in it on too. But he's like, Dan, I was talking to him, and this was so good about being part of the East Coast RIA was you were able to network with these guys. And Mike's like, Dan, there was missing a window in there. And that's what you just mentioned.
Yeah.
And then it has this and has that. I'm like, you should really talk to Carl. I'm like, really? I'm gonna talk to Carl? This is scary.
Well, again, we didn't touch on this, but you know, we ended up linking up with Carl because I think Charles actually recommended him to us, right?
He said yes. Well, he didn't actually recommend us. He just recommended East Coast RIA. We joined East Coast RIA, but we didn't do coaching with Carl yet.
That's right.
We were just attending meetings, and Carl was obviously we paid for the membership, and it was great because we started getting our feet wet. There was one time where we're like, all right, meeting Wednesday night, and we were trying to, I don't know what we're doing. We were so all over the place that you thought you were in the East Coast RIA meeting.
Yeah.
You were in a completely different
I was
meeting.
in like a
Dan Barbero's meeting. U.S. Ventures.
Yeah, about like buying land in Florida.
Yeah, I'm texting you, like thinking that you're on the meeting. I didn't check to see if you're screening up. I'm like, oh, this is good stuff. And you're like, what are you talking about,
Yeah,
dude?
I was just like, dude, this doesn't pertain to us. I think this is way over our heads.
We are such a mess. It was such a mess. It was such a messy situation. But the underlying thing we should highlight here is that we were determined. We were determined to make this thing work.
Yeah, it's just like getting your feet wet, you know, like, and as we kept just like failing and not understanding what was going on and why people were telling us one thing, and then like we were just like, that's when it came to our consciousness. It's like, all right, there are things out there that like we don't know, like we don't know, like, you know, you don't know what you don't know, but like I know that there's a lot that I don't know. So then it's kind of like, all right, pump the brakes. Let's just kind of like take it step by step. And I think that's when we were like,
well, no, yes and no. That portion I want to say a little bit yes and no. What ultimately happened was this. That house was the catalyst of kind of setting things in perspective for us, I believe. So when I brought that house up to Mike Plachter said, you should talk to Carl. I brought it up to Carl, and we got on the phone with Carl. And Carl was like, listen, I don't tell people where to buy houses, but there's a lot of red flags.
That's right.
And he's like, well, listen, I think what you guys need is, I'll be more than happy to mentor you guys and coach you. And we're just like, thank you. What has Bigger Pockets been telling us from day one?
Yeah.
Get a coach.
Yep.
But the problem with coaches is that we are on social media. There's a lot of people out there, and I want to make sure I'm clear to all these people, all right? Because I know there's a lot of fake people out there.
Oh my God, so many.
And they say you could flip and buy houses. You don't know jack because you're in different markets, you can literally go to Missouri and walk up to somebody's house and say, I'll buy your house right now with a piece of paper and sign it, and that's it. Here in New York, you have to go through a slew of attorneys, title companies. You have to go through so much just to even make sure your offer, like everything can get approved.
Yeah, it's wild.
And we didn't know that. Like we didn't even know what this process was. You may have bought homes, our first personal homes, and it was and we were guided by our parents.
Well, yeah, exactly.
We were guided by our parents. We had our hand held for that.
And also, when you're buying a property as a primary residence, I mean, you know, you could buy it many different ways, but typically it's okay. You get an agent, you see the house, you have an attorney, you put the offer in. You know, it's just like it's cut and dry. Like there's really nothing to it. But then investing is, I mean, there's no right or wrong way to invest.
Yeah. But getting the correct coach is very vital.
Yeah. You need somebody that, again, in your market.
I
think I remember maybe it was the podcast you had with Matt Procaro. I think he was saying about how he was doing something with a guy like somewhere else in the country.
I think it was.
And the guy was like, no. Oh, I think he was talking about
Minnesota. I think maybe, or
he was talking about like signing a contract with like the homeowner, and he's like, no, in New York you need an attorney for it, and he goes, no, you don't. And Matt's like, yeah, this is what everyone's telling me, and he's like, no, they're wrong. Meanwhile, this guy didn't know that New York is different than wherever he was, you know, and it's just like, yeah, it's you need that guidance in your market, or else it's like someone's teaching you a foreign language and they don't even know how to speak it. You know?
100%.
Yeah.
And then I think ultimately when we got in front of Carl, we started working with him. And this is what we found out, I think fairly soon, was that Carl wasn't teaching us how to invest in real estate.
Nah.
Not at all. We were looking at stuff. We're like, wait, where's the part where you take your money and buy a house?
Yeah.
What was Carl doing, Tom?
Carl was just pretty much teaching us, well, this is how you change your mindset in terms of how to start your business. So that way, every day you're pretty much working towards your goals, and then compound it over a year, you reach your goals.
100%. And the other key element too is that with that is he taught us how to build a business.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it came down to.
Yeah. It's, how are you going to build a business? And we didn't know how to build a business.
Yeah.
Now I know how to build a business. And that has propelled me so much, and us, and I think such an incredible like light. Even my current new W-2 job is I'm in a position where it doesn't exist. So I have to create the position. And thank God I know what Carl taught me, because now like I use Carl's teachings, believe it or not, to build out my new position in my new company, which has been incredible, because the creative aspect of building a business, and you can look at it two ways. In the beginning, you kind of can look at it like, but now I'm really honed in on like, yo, this is fun.
Yeah.
This is fun. Like this.
You're making something that's your own.
And there's nothing.
It grows legs, and it's like look, it's there. Like, yeah, no, it is crazy. And and this is something too, little side tangent. When I went to college, you know, I'm like, oh, I want to be a cop. I knew that.
Well,
right?
why'd you go to college?
Because I was told to. Because you got to go to college. And I'll always say, listen, I went away to college 4 years. The only thing that I got out of it was learning how to live on your own.
That's what most people have been saying nowadays.
And you know what, though? You don't necessarily need to pay, $50,000 a year to learn that.
But thank God you went to a state school.
But, well, yeah, I got the Stafford loans, whatever. So it was like fairly affordable, even for me,
Yeah.
And when I went, you have like a guidance counselor there. Oh, what do you want to do? I want to be a cop. Oh, cool. Take criminal justice. Major in criminal justice, minor in sociology. I was like, yeah, awesome. And I'm in these classes. I was in this one class, so I ended up double majoring in sociology and criminal justice, just because the way my credits were coming out of high school. Remember, like they were like some AP classes, whatever. I don't know, I forget how all that works, but whatever. So now I'm taking class. I took a class, sociology of gender, and I'm in this class. And this was the
What year was this, dude?
It was level 400 class. So this was like my fourth year. So this was 2012. And I'm in this class and I'm listening to this professor talk about like gender, inequalities and stuff. And like, I'm not saying it doesn't exist in certain aspects, but like it was some of the most, like left stuff that I've heard. And this was like before that was like a thing. But this was in like universities. So now I'm getting exposed to this. And I remember literally saying, I'm like, I'm paying for this.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is going to help me be a cop. I was like, all I'm being told is that I'm the devil because I'm a man.
The devil.
And I was just like, oh my God. And then I realized, I was like, why am I taking criminal justice and sociology for? Like, to be a cop, all I need was like X amount of credits. I could have went to Nassau Community and saved myself. However, I don't even know how much I spent there.
You going to Nassau Community College, Tom McDermott? Absolutely not. All right, I went to Nassau Community College. I didn't even complete it.
But I'm just saying, like, what I learned, like, it didn't help me in anything. I wish I could have gone back, spoke to this guy and said, I want to be a cop. And he goes, okay, well, listen, to be a cop, you don't need any specific degree in like criminal justice, whatever. So like, what do you have an interest in? Do you have an interest in computer science, in business? Because you know what? That probably would have benefited me more. So this is why it's like, I went to college because I was told to. I took these classes because I was told to. And then it got to a point where it was just like this is why we decided to invest in real estate, because everything that we were told to do, like, it doesn't give you the life that you want. You're not taught how to do your taxes in school. You're not taught how to invest in school. You're taught just how to follow directions and be a good worker bee.
Well, yeah, school is structured in that aspect where you get used to working 8 hours a day.
Oh, yeah.
And then you go from 8 hours a day into college where, now it's a little bit, you got some wiggle room and this and that. But then you already have your foundation is ultimately built on that 8 hours. Yeah. And then you go into W-2 work where now that, 8 hours, this makes sense.
Exactly. Oh, I've done this my whole life. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you sit like, obviously being a cop is a little different because you are in the field. But if you had to give a time frame of to complete your paperwork on an average, how much time, like, and they gave you 8 hours, how much time does it realistically take?
I just make my cops do it. No, I mean, realistically, I mean, at this point in the game, like, everything that I do is like so mundane. I've done it thousands of times.
But that's what I'm saying.
So
like, you could probably do it in 2 hours, right?
Less than that.
But see, that's what's so crazy.
Like 35 minutes.
But the idea of making that's why I love my new job position. It's like, yes, I am contracted for an 8-hour day and 40 hours a week. But there are days I'm putting in 12 hours. There are days I'm putting in, maybe 4 hours because I have to go see a job site and I have to go talk to people. But what I'm saying is that the actual work itself, only takes me about 2-3 hours, and that's all me customizing it. Obviously, as a cop, you got to go out into the field. Me, as in construction, I have to evaluate job sites, and it's a lot different element. Like, for the people that have to go in for 8 hours and then that's it. Like, it's just crazy to me.
I know it is.
Because even the construction world, believe it or not, a lot of these guys, what they do with their companies is like, do you want lunch? And they're like, what do you mean? Well, if you take lunch, then we'll stay till 3:30. If you cut lunch out and finish the work double time, we'll finish at 2:00. Yes, sign me up. Yeah. Get me in and out. Let's what you can complete the work and do the work in that time frame.
But it's funny that like we were talking about how we were sitting in my den, we were just talking about real estate, whatever. Yeah. And then because at the time you moved back into your house at the time?
No, I didn't even move back to my house. Right? My house was currently still rented out. I was living home with mommy and daddy again at the age of 30.
That's right. You moved back,
Moved back home.
Yeah, but so you were back in the neighborhood,
Yeah, because my lease in Astoria ended. It was either renew that lease, that commitment, which I didn't want to do, and I knew I wanted to get into real estate, so I wanted to save the money. The money I was making on my rental property, which is my current primary residence, I didn't want that to go back into the apartment. I might as well be collecting that and start building that nest egg so we could start throwing money in.
So you were essentially living for free from the rent of your house.
100%.
But it's like, well, now, like, what's the point of that? Like, let me go in. You built equity in the house. You did some work on it. And
what's so crazy about that house is I bought that house back in 2016. I never lived in it, and I just stuck tenants in there. And I didn't know anything about real estate. All I know is that I was gonna get $800 extra. It covers the mortgage, and I didn't even know that I was a landlord.
Yeah,
I knew I was a landlord, but I didn't know if I was the traditional landlord. It just like because my dad, because he owns multiple rental properties, like stick tenants in there. It's like, bye, I'm going to Astoria. Me and Alexa.
That was it,
man. And then we come back, and it's like, wait a minute.
And then you moved in. You and Alexa moved in, did work on the house, and then I moved upstairs.
House hack. Tom used to live upstairs. So what happened was I think it was so important about this story is that we came together and said, all right, what is going to be beneficial for you and me?
Right.
All right. You live 2 blocks down in Massapequa. You're living by yourself in this nice, beautiful Cape. Tom has an incredible home, a really nice home. It's like, did you need all that?
Yeah. At the time, I was like,
Did you need that massive kitchen? Did you need the massive den in the backyard?
Yeah, I didn't. I'm a simple guy, and I said, you know what?
All guys are simple. We just
I literally said, I'm like, you know what? You were planning on having your upstairs rented out. I was like, I could rent this thing. I'm like, how much can I rent this house? I was like,
$1,500 a month. For you, it's $1,500 a month.
Yeah. And then, but I started renting out
because I could have easily rent that out. For a fact.
Oh, dude,
it's $2,000.
It was a 2-bedroom apartment, 2nd floor, full kitchen,
everything redone,
many windows.
Yeah,
But yeah, and then the thought, like knowing that, like, okay, well, I could utilize my primary residence as a rental. I mean, the rent I was collecting from there was insane, and also the fact that I pulled equity out of the house. Now it's like, okay, well, everything, it's all, the tax advantages of it, and like,
hold it.
I mean, I'm not going to bore everybody with all the benefits of it. Like, if they don't know, you could reach out to us. We'll talk to you about it.
Reach out to us.
But
reach out to me, Dan and Tom. Welcome to our show.
But it was just insane. Like, we did it. Like, I'm helping you out. I'm upstairs, and
we're developing a business.
And now it's like, okay, you want to talk business? you just text me or you just yell, come downstairs.
Yeah.
You know, and,
Tom, come downstairs. We got a business meeting and hurry your ass up.
and that was it, you know, and it was crazy that, you know, that we were able to still invest in real estate, but like in such like an indirect way almost, you know, it was like to think that we were actually doing it, that you were house hacking, that like I already had a property.
Renting it out.
That I was like, you know, let me rent it out. And now,
but these are the tools. These are the tools where people need to evaluate.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, what we did was the smart move. I said this on a previous podcast. I got to buy a house and I got to live in it. And you have a girlfriend. It's like, oh, you want to play house? Like what? Why do you need the house?
right.
You know, just why don't you rent that house out and go live in an apartment for the fraction of the cost and let that house make you money, hang out with your girlfriend, go out on some dates, enjoy your life, and build that equity, that money, build it up. And that's what I did with my house. And then you did it with your house.
It's crazy.
And now I know you moved back in because listen, it's for, you know, you got your special girl in your life. Tom just got married. By the way, he didn't tell anybody. He literally got to Finland and says, "Hey guys, I got married." Oh, thanks, Tom.
So we eloped. We went to Finland.
You eloped.
And then we enjoyed ourselves. We came back and then we told everybody.
Yeah.
But this is what I was trying to avoid. I didn't want everybody to get upset if they weren't invited to the wedding.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Actually, you know what? Yeah. Now you're right. Yeah. A full clarity moment.
But yeah, so when we were doing that, it's like now not only was I, you know, getting the mentality like, oh, well, I'm a real estate investor. Like I'm actually
making money.
I'm actually making money. But then I was like, oh, I'm also a property manager. I'm also a landlord. I was able to get the experience of speaking to an attorney, writing a contract and saying like, you know what, let me look this over. Let me see if there's anything I want to add. And it was, well, you got to say something.
What were those things you mentioned? You're a what? Go on.
Property manager.
You're a property manager.
A real estate investor.
Okay, anything else?
A landlord.
And he's an officer home buyer.
Exactly.
But seriously, like you are all these titles now.
Yeah. And it was crazy because again, like I didn't realize it, just like how you didn't realize like you were house hacking and like doing a form of strategy in real estate investing.
We didn't know that.
You know, now I'm getting, a text. I'm getting a text from or a call from my tenant 9 a.m. You know, when I just got home at 6 a.m. And of course I'm sleeping, you know, and he's, hey, yeah, you know, I was wondering the first floor bathroom, you know, would it be cool if I installed shower doors?
Hi.
And like, I was like, great. They were great people, great tenants. We had a great, relationship.
No, I know you did. Yeah.
But guess what? From reading and educating myself about being a landlord, first off, you do not have your tenants do work in the house. Yeah. And if they want to, they need to bring it to your attention.
A request. You have to formalize a request.
I was just like, shower doors. I'm like, yeah, that'd be nice. But I'm like, oh, well, I don't want them drilling into shower tile. There's water involved, whatever. I said, hey, listen. And now I was able to mitigate all these, not conflicts, but like situations in a professional way. And listen, according to the lease we signed, I would really prefer if you didn't, blah, blah. And it gave me that experience of not only being that landlord, but then also like going by for quarterly inspections or going by and, making sure that I just will go by and like wash the house, because it was getting, little scummy from the mold, the moss, whatever. Just like, hey, listen, I'm going to, it's summertime. Let me wash the house for you guys so you can go outside and enjoy. You don't have to look at, like green siding. And it was stuff that I was like, you know what? There's stuff I will never do again as a property manager.
What are those things?
Or as a landlord, or it's like, you know what? I really like that. It really, it gave them the feeling that I actually cared, and that I wasn't just this, slumlord landlord that's just like, I don't care, rent's due, And there was even times too that rent was due and I didn't get it. And I simply reached out like, hey, rent was due yesterday. I never received it. Like, is everything okay? Oh yeah, I was just wondering if I could just get 2 more days because I'm just waiting for something to clear, whatever. And I say, hey, listen, not a problem. In 2 days, it's all good. And guess what? 2 days came, rent was there. But then I'm thinking in my head, if the rent doesn't come now, like, what do I do? Like how do I now do this?
Yeah,
Whereas you might speak to some landlords and they'll say, oh, rent was due on day 1 and you didn't get it. file for eviction, immediate eviction. Hit them with the late fee. That's 5 days after rental due, late fee, eviction. Meanwhile, you'll have some people that'll just be like, hey, you know what? They've been here 7 years. Maybe hey, what's going on? Oh, you lost your job? All right, listen, this month, it's on me. You know, like that, doing something like that, even though it's not in the contract, but doing something like that tenant, you'll probably be like, oh my God, this guy is our saving grace, you know? And it's just like, it's different ways to handle different situations.
Well, we ran into that. We ran into that.
Yeah, we did.
There was a miscommunication with one of our properties, and I ultimately felt like I got to go down there. I got to go down there. And once and it took forever because I think this person ultimately was not used to having a real landlord and somebody that actually cares about, first of all, them. Really, I do. People are like so shocked. Even the recent rental, people couldn't believe. Like, call me, text me. I want to know. You got issues, running into money problems. Let me know.
Yeah, let me know.
This is a home. We're providing you services. This is a home. Yes, it's a business and it's got to make us money, 100%. But we're people too.
Right.
All right. But I'm willing to have the conversation. Yeah, and I hear it. Like you said, oh, they're 5 days late. Oh, slam them with a fee. Why?
Yeah. And I always equate it to this. If you go to a restaurant and you order food and your order comes out and it's not right,
don't send it back.
That's another discussion. But like, would you say something? Hey, listen, like this is what I ordered. Like I'm paying for this. Like it's not right. Same thing. If you're a tenant, or from a landlord's perspective, you're a tenant. You're paying for a service. If it's not right, why wouldn't you let me know? It's customer service. It's just like, your water's not getting hot? Okay, well, now I'm thinking like, I hope the water heater isn't exploded in the basement, I hope there's not, there's not a swimming pool down there. But it's like, it's not hot. Okay, but it might have simply have been like, maybe like the pilot light on something went out. It could be either or. But like, I want to know. And I would really hope that you would tell me so that way, if it is that big problem, we could handle it as soon as possible. And then if it's not, I could just put the pilot back on. Yeah, you're all good. And now it's convenience back in your life.
See, the other thing too, when I went down to go talk to our tenant, was that got a job and her pay cycle, she got paid on the 7th. And that's when she was able to pay the rent. Now, what am I going to sit there for? Yes, we have a signed lease that says the 1st of the month, and after 5 days, you are going to get slammed. Okay, not a big deal. Yeah. So I expect the rent from either the 8th moving on, and we'll change that. We'll make an amendment and change that. And that's a conversation. But the person obviously was not used to that and probably was scared to even have that conversation.
Yeah. And listen, it could even be the other way. I'm not speaking about her specifically, but
in general.
But you might have a tenant that might be scared like that, or you might have a tenant that has pushed around old landlords before and have gotten their way. So sometimes you got to put your foot down, but you also have to be like, listen, is there a genuine problem here? Or are you just being difficult?
It's especially tough here in New York. It's just tough. It's tough to be a landlord here in New York because of the laws against us. And there is the negative side of being a landlord here, because ultimately that person can just say, hey, Tom, I'm not going to pay anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you, Tom, go, I'm filing for an eviction. How long is the eviction going to take? I hope at least under a year.
I hope 6 months.
Yeah, not even, dude. Like
I know, like the city. I think the city is now up to like 18 months for like completed evictions.
It's scary.
Because I deal with it sometimes at work too. Like with these, you think it's a burglary, but it's a guy squatting. And it's like, it's landlord-tenant court. It's like,
have you seen anything changing? I know you did some videos on. You did some.
Yeah, it only changes when I'm on scene.
That's it, Officer Homebuyer.
Actually,
coming out with landlord policies.
It brings me joy when I go to a property.
Oh my God!
And I know
you got the body camera footage.
Yeah, I can't release it.
I know that.
But it brings me so much joy when I go to property and the property owner, whether he's an investor, built whatever, he goes, like this house, it's under construction. Like it's not rented out. And then this guy goes, we live here. This is our lease. And I look at the lease and I'm just like, okay. I'm like, all right. Oh, your dog too? Dog's on the lease? Yeah, on the lease. Oh, how much you pay for the deposit? Oh, I paid $4,500 for a pet deposit. Oh, it's a service dog, right? Yeah, service dog. Okay. First off, that's illegal. So I know right off the bat that that's not a real lease, because you would never have a lease that says, oh, if you have a service dog here, I want extra money. It's illegal. It's discrimination.
Yeah, no, the service dog is allowed in the house.
So it's like, oh, okay. And then I press them on, I ask the questions like these guys think I'm on their side. Then I'm just like, put your hands behind your back. And it's the fact that it's like, they think that they got one over.
Tom is arresting these squatters, man. Officer Homebuyer is coming for you.
They think they got one over. You know why? Because the laws are so gray in New York, especially in the city, that's somebody that's actually not like, I know these laws not only because.
Well, you didn't highlight this in your story. When you did go to school, you worked in Albany, didn't you work?
Yeah, I worked for a Capital in an internship.
But you spent time. You were eventually going to become a lawyer. Remember?
I had interest in that, and I took the LSATs, and then I was just like, "What the hell am I doing? I don't want to be a lawyer."
But ultimately, what I love, one of your biggest strengths, Tom, is to highlight this, is that you really know how to read law. You really know how to.
It interests me. That's what it comes down to.
Yes.
Like, if you enjoy something, or if something interests you, you could absorb it. You can read it all day long. And I think that's where I have the upper hand, like especially at these weird gray jobs where it's like, is this guy squatting, or did this guy actually answer a fake Craigslist ad where a scammer said, yeah, this is my property. Here's a lease. Let's sign a lease. Cool. Yeah, just pay me 6 months up front. Got the cash. Yeah, move in. Here's the key. And then
big red flag. Do not take 6 months of rent up front. Never.
It sounds good, but
Don't do that, because it's just, once the 6 months go, what could happen?
That's it. Yeah,
You're done.
You're
fried.
But yeah, those situations, like I see them all the time, and it's like you'll see news articles about it, about squatters and about how homeowners are getting arrested because they're unlawfully evicting.
Oh yeah, I've seen all this. It just breaks my heart, man. It's just
insane.
It really is a massive problem here in New York, and I really hope there is some form of reasonable law. But obviously, we have gotten so twist and turn with it. Where, listen, now we're in this position now. Let's think about this now, and a smart strategy. Is that going to deter us to invest in real estate? No. So we have a hurdle. We have a barrier. Yeah. We just have to figure how we're going to mitigate that risk.
You put systems in place to go around those barriers. When it does happen, you have systems in place to deal with it.
And the other thing too, to point out when investing in this type of aspect, that you're going to be prepared to lose a year. Yeah. That's why we put in our deal finders, when we calculate deals, we want to see what our X cap is, how much what it could replace the roof in 5 years. You put
vacancy
your
rates.
Vacancy
I mean, this is
rates.
all like standard
stuff. Yeah, yes.
But the people that don't factor in, because they're like, all right, I got a tenant lined up. Yeah, I just replaced the boiler. So like, my cap, the boiler and roof. So my CapEx should be zero. Repairs, zero. Everything's working. And then all of a sudden, things go haywire, where they thought they were cash flowing $600 a month. Now they're underwater.
Well, that just happened to us in December. We replaced, when we remodel homes, we replace literally almost everything. And plumbing is a major thing to replace. Electrical and plumbing, we have to do those things. Don't skim on that. Yeah, you might go a little cheap on the paint, fine, whatever. I don't care about that. But when it comes to the plumbing fixtures and all that, we replaced everything, right? Yeah. And we tuned up the boiler, we did everything, but we had a leak. Yeah. Where did we have the leak, Tom?
Underneath the concrete slab.
So it's one of those things where it was spewing out, and the ultimate, the best solution is that, they could have chopped into it, repaired it, but chances are it's going to come back, because it's just what you need to do is reroute the water line and reroute all the water in the house. Yeah. And that banged us for almost $3,000. Yeah. But we were fine. We were fully prepared for that. Yeah. We had that saved up in our bank account.
I remember I was actually in my basement dealing with something with my boiler, and I was just like, how much we got in the account? You told me, and I was just like, all right, man,
just do it.
Just hire, I'm not a plumber. I'm not doing it myself.
Yeah, we don't.
You know, so like, just hire him. Have him take care of it.
Yeah.
You know.
I've been more leaning into. Well, now I'm just there now. It's just I don't. I'm done. I'm done working on the houses.
Yeah, that was something that I want to bring up to you.
Yes, go ahead.
Those days, because we would always go out to the house Sunday mornings. What time would we leave? Like 6, 7 a.m.
We leave like 6:30 in the morning, man.
And what time did I get home from work? Sometimes
you would get home at 4 o'clock.
I get home like 4:45 in the morning. I put my head on the pillow, and then I wake up. I'd open the door. I look downstairs, and you would just be there with your coffee. You ready? And I'd be like, yeah. We go and we'd work. We work like a 8, 9, 10-hour day, and that's something that, first off, I think every real estate investor should go through to realize that your time and your health and well-being is worth more than saving what? $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on a reno to just hire somebody else. You know, that was. I will never do that again.
I know you won't. Well, now I'm done. I know. Yeah. I just know your mentality. But ultimately, we had to first of all do it because we needed to save as much money to build the equity.
Yeah, exactly.
You do it in the beginning. Yeah, everybody does in the beginning.
It was fun.
We always have fun, dude.
It was fun.
Come on. We have fun. We bullshit. We're a good time, and we tell jokes, and then we shoot funny content. But ultimately, it's growing, and it's the painful growth. Now, when you do something like that, you know what it takes to put things together.
Oh yeah.
So when you look at the contractor work, you know a value behind how much it's going to cost. Now you're not going to be like, oh yeah, it's going to cost me. You know, you get a contractor like, and I love those videos with that guy Nicky. You ever see him? He's like, he plays the contractor, and
the Italian kid.
Yeah, he walks up to oh man, you got a ziggity zaggy. You got a ziggity zaggy in the wall. It's like, I'm gonna have to replace all the electrical. I figured, buy me lunch.
$120,000.
Just looking at it. But now you know truthfully what time and value. Remember when this is one of the things I hated that we did at the house. I wanted to punch myself in the head for this one. And now again, I'm done remodeling. Yeah. I really am done remodeling. I probably only remodel stuff on my house because I enjoy doing things like that from time to time because I actually do like working with my hands. Yeah. Painting. How many days did we spend painting?
Yeah, that was insane. First off, some of the walls in the house were painted black.
Yeah.
And painted like just the darkest colors. So to cover that up, what was it? We used a bin primer.
We had to use a bin primer.
We used a bin primer. I'm in this room. like hallucinating because of his fumes. You know, I got
Tom,
music
you okay?
play. Oh my God.
Yeah, bro.
I just walk out and be like, I need a break. Yeah, and like that was days and days and days of painting. That was crazy.
We spent way too much time painting. But listen, it's all part of the process. I'm glad any stuff like that, I'm always looking back on it. We have a lessons learned. What are our lessons learned? Yeah, this is not what we're going to do. Yeah, but now ultimately, especially where I'm with my business, and you can probably, I know you won't touch a house again. It's just, man, I'm just going to hire people.
Yeah.
I'm just going to hire people.
You got it at some point, you know.
So we're getting to that time. Like, you know, I think we covered an incredible amount of ground, but I do want to, not to completely end the podcast now, but I want to just get some information. Where you at, Tom, now? What's going on today?
So I've really been delving into the business and the brand dealing. Like, you know, you and I, we started from the same time. We had Navi together, and then when you branched off with your brand, you know, I realized, I was like, oh yeah, I was like, that's great. I'm like, because first of all, it rolls off the tongue. You know, like you said, like the guys at work, Dan, the safety man. And I was just like, oh yeah, like that's what you need to do. You need to do branding, social media content. And I'm no stranger to that. You remember I had the plant business a few years back.
You had 10K.
I was at I had 15,000.
15,000 followers, bro. You should have just converted that over, right, to officer home buyer, bro. Everybody's like, what happened to officer plant buyer?
That'd be so funny. I should have done that. But
no, you would totally. But that's not the followers you want.
No, that's not the audience.
Yeah.
But I'm no stranger to that. But I never really even built that as like a business, you know. That was just like, that was
You
something
almost
fun.
did. You almost did.
Well, I did. It was the starts of a business. And then, you know, what actually stopped was when I moved out of the house. I was like, I got no place for all these plants, you know, because the main thing was buying and selling plants and everything. I had drop shippers coming out of Southern California and South Florida.
Fucking plants.
I mean, I'm the plant guy, yeah.
Hawthorne Plants. Is the Instagram still up?
Actually, I just logged into it, yeah. Because, there's
Call it
still like
Officer-
over 10,000 followers.
Call it Officer Home Buy. No, call it
Officer Plant Buyer.
Officer Plant Buyer.
But, yeah, so I've really been like delving into like the inner workings of it. And like you've been doing a tremendous job, obviously just being on social media, your brand, obviously the podcast, like, you know, I watch it like as like a drive, or I listen to it like as I drive to work and stuff.
Oh, you listen to me?
Yeah. I mean,
What a sweetheart.
got to be a supporter. And that's why too, I was like, oh, it'll be so great to come on here, you know, like see the inner workings of it, you know, and get more involved like that.
What do you think about this whole thing, man?
Oh, it's great. It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who's going to listen to me talk, but you know,
You'll be quite surprised.
Yeah, I'm sure, you know,
quite
but
surprised.
this is just like, it's like you said, this is the future of media. And like, just to talk to regular guys, especially me coming from W2,
We're both
collar,
W2 guys
we're both
still.
the same thing. And that's why obviously everything that Peter Grosso is doing with the Working Class Heroes Guide to Getting Rich. I know you had him on here with Matt. You guys were talking about that.
Yeah, he's my co-host for certain episodes.
Yeah, and that, I mean, that's like tremendous too. I think that is going to help so many people, especially in our area. Because what are most people? Most people, construction, firemen, nurses, cops. That's like the bread and butter of our neighborhood. And it's funny too, because one of the first conversations that we had with Carl before we signed up with him to talk and say like, is it worth it? He said to me, "Oh, Tom, you're a cop? Like, you got retirement?" He goes, "You ever hear of a self-directed IRA?" And I go, "No, never heard about that." Nope. And he said, yeah, you can take your IRA, you know, whatever you're invested in now. He's like, I'm sure it's with some type of trust company and they just invested in their funds. And you could just invest in whatever you want, including real estate. And for the longest time, I was like, oh, cool. And just whatever. Because you know why? Because like I had my account, it was with a company and I've had it. And I was like, you know what? I contribute to it every year and that's it. But it got to a point where I was like, wait, what was this thing called? To the point where to set it up and to actually use it to lend out money, it is the easiest thing. I'm so mad that the second that he didn't mention it to me the first time, I didn't jump on board with it, because it's also a way that, especially W-2 blue collar workers that have retirement accounts, you can invest in real estate with the money that you already have.
But the thing too is that when I talk about real estate, that this is a long-term play.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yes, but with that being said, the self-directed RA, how many times have I heard self-directed RA and said, yeah, okay, gone. Yeah. And then it exists. My last, I got called, my brother's like, call this lady, she's willing to sell her house. And you know what she's willing to do? Sell her financing.
Yeah.
But these are the tools, but it takes time to finally grasp those terms,
to learn how it works, and then to be confident to actually produce that deal, like seller financing. But that's more like a deal like, hey, listen, homeowner, why do you want to sell? Oh, well, we're retired. We want to move. Oh, you're retired. Okay. Well, listen, don't mind me asking, but like, do you have other forms of income coming in? Just a pension. Okay. Well, how about I propose this? How about you finance your home to me? So that way every month you're getting a check.
Interest.
Every month, with interest.
With interest.
Every month. So now you take your pension that you're getting every month, plus now this, you're increasing your cash flow. Yeah, you're not getting that one lump sum of, whatever, however many, $300,000, $400,000, whatever it is. But it's a way for you to know every month, I'm getting this amount of money into my account. And when you open people's eyes up to that, especially people that would benefit from it, it's a no-brainer. Yeah. It really is. It's crazy, So that's why there's no right or wrong way to invest in real estate. You want to use your retirement account that you already have, be a private lender, use it to buy real estate. You could do that. You want to sell a finance? You just want to go to a hard money lender and just get a hard money loan. You want to go to a conventional lender and just get an investor loan. Like, You could do whatever you
See,
want.
but people just don't know that.
They just don't know.
And we're going to be the ones to help that. Especially, I know, working with Pete. Pete is so incredible. He's the sweetest man with the softest eyes.
But a very firm handshake.
With a very firm handshake. Hey now. I love his vision. I'm so glad.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
And first of all, so let me say a few things. Tom has disappeared for the past year. I have no idea where he went. He got married, and then I found out that Tom is going to be on the panel for the event, which I think is incredible because he is obviously an NYPD officer. He has such a background where he can help your law enforcers to really that, especially that cops retire at a certain point and that they can go into a career of investing.
They could, yeah.
Yeah, they absolutely can. Like I know that's I know you're counting the years down, waiting until click day of retirement, and then
8.5 years left.
Oh man, but also like, so I just want to know a little bit before we end, like, where are you heading now? What's your game plan right now? No.
Yeah, so right now, in terms of my W-2 job, I'm looking forward to another promotion, which is good. It's going to be a big change, but that also means more freedom, more money in my pocket to put into real estate. So that's how I look at it. You gotta get rid of that income creep where it's like, oh, let me go buy a new car, or whatever, and get into that mindset of let me make my money work for me. Yeah. So that's already on its own timeline, so that's fine. As far as that, I've been doing a lot of private lending with my self-directed IRA, which is great. It's something to do, especially when I'm tied up working 12-hour tours. Especially
that's what we're talking about. You can invest in real estate without lifting really just a few clicks and a phone call.
All you gotta do is sign 2 pieces of paperwork,
and that's it. Go to work and then let the money grow in itself.
Yeah, it's crazy, and then really I'm besides all that, in terms of physically investing in real estate, it's more so of the off-market deals. That's the biggest thing that I'm having trouble with, because I'm also doing a home renovation myself. Like I said, I'm starting a family. So the mail marketing and really finding those off-market deals myself, that's what I'm focusing on now. So that way I can have that constant stream. I can measure that, and be like, cool, like let the deals flow in, work on it that way. Because you could rely on wholesalers.
Are we going to buy another house? What are we doing?
Yeah, you tell me when.
I'm not telling you. This time I'm not telling you. You got to find the house, and then.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm improving right now. Because that's my biggest challenge. Money to get money in real estate. Everyone's got money. Everybody wants to lend with you.
You have no idea.
For me personally, the hardest thing is finding that good deal.
It always is. The house is number one.
Yeah, the house.
House contractors.
Yeah.
Money,
contractors too,
Don't even go like contractors. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
But I've actually been networking with a lot of contractors, actually through a couple of Pete and Vanessa's mastermind meetups that they do, and we
got to find the right people. Once you get that hook in, because I have 2 good contractors that yes. All I know is going to make one phone call. They're going to flip the whole house, and and that's what I want, and that's it. But anyway, we're at the end of our show for today. What can I say, dude? I love you. I'm so happy you got married. I'm excited for your future. I'm glad you moved back in your home. He's back. Not like he went far. He went from living upstairs. I kicked him out because I had my kid. Then he moved to Hicksville for like 3 minutes.
11 months.
And then 11 months. Proposed, got married, moved back to Massapequa. Now he's chopping his house up. But a lot of great things that you are doing, Tom. I just want to grow old with you and invest.
But before we sign off, too, I want to say, like, what you're doing is crazy. Like, from where we started, you've exploded like ridiculous. Like, and it's crazy, and it's cool too, because it's like, we started from the same place, like from zero to whatever, and to see how far you've come. Like, it really is. It's cool. It's great seeing somebody that that's in my life that I care about, that who I've seen kind of going down the wrong path. Before you.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't it crazy? Dude, it was wild. Life and death, man.
It's wild. That's why I'm always watching your stuff, and I'm just like, oh man, that's great. I was like, oh, he looks good. Oh, he lost a lot of weight. Oh, like this.
Oh yeah, I was like, 50. Oh my god.
But like, it really is, and like, credit to you. I know it's not easy, and
it's not.
And I know it takes time, and I've seen it. And I've seen it for the past, was it past 5 years, I guess, right?
Yeah, because I started a family, I had 2 kids, and then I focused on that last year where I didn't, like just like you, where you just took care of your family life and take care of your personal things, and then I came in this year swinging, and Alexa knew ultimately, even like now, she's breaking my chops, but she knows that what I'm doing is going to benefit. This podcast is going to benefit us.
Of course, yeah. So it's a short-term sacrifice for long-term results.
Yeah, it's quite incredible. Tom,
but dude, thank you for having me on here. I mean, this is great. I hope you have me on again.
You're gonna have me on again, dude. You know? We just gotta. It's just. James knows it's just the whole thing and everything. But before I sign off, Tom, plug yourself in one last time. How can we reach you? What are you doing? What are you looking for? Look into that camera and say what you need to say.
I'm Tom McDermott, officer home buyer, co-owner of Navi Real Estate Investors. I'm an active law enforcement and investor on Long Island. If you're looking to invest with me, please reach me at Instagram, officer.homebuyer.
I did have one last thing. One last thing. I know this is super long. One piece of advice to the audience if they're looking to invest in real estate. Very simple.
If you're looking to invest?
Yeah, just very simple.
Starting to invest, education. Just read. YouTube, read. You have to just immerse yourself fully in it because you need to cover all the angles. You need to get that course, just understanding of it before you really dive in on what you want to do. And it takes time. That's it. It's a long-term game. It's not get rich quick. It's a long-term game. Yeah. That's it.
Thanks, dude.
Thank you, Dan.
Well, guys, that is the end of our podcast. All the information for Tom and Officer Homebuyer will be posted in the bio. If you felt like you got some great value, I would love to hear some feedback. If you want to see certain type of content or things I talk about, I'm always open to that. Until next time, this is Dan, the podcast man, signing off with Tom. See ya.